Hey guys, it's Radlyn and John again. We were just live and we are going live again. Sorry if you're tired of seeing our faces, but we have some very, very, very important news for you. The executive order just came out just moments ago and we just wanted to hop on and go through it line by line for you all, for whoever's out there, and if you're watching it a little bit later. So as we mentioned before, and as was reported the last couple of days, this is all about the economic impact on Americans, the immigration economic impact on Americans. And so this is what it's all about. It's the first, if you take a look here, and we're scrolling, so just bear with us, our heads might be down here, but the first 4 or 5 paragraphs are all about protecting the economy.
The stated purpose of the executive order, basically the concern that people are going to be, there's a lot of people unemployed, they'll be going back to look for work as the recovery starts, and that there'll be too many workers looking for jobs and not enough jobs for them. Okay,
so let's just go section by section, guys. Bear with us here. It's super important. We think it is. So section 1, suspension and limitation on entry. The entry to the United States of aliens as immigrants is hereby suspended and limited subject to section 2 of this proclamation. So first, the entry into the United States of aliens as immigrants is hereby suspended. So I am thinking that is a physical entry into the United States because in a different paragraph, it talks about the State Department, and the State Department is the one that issues the visas. So we are still crossing our fingers and hoping that this is just for the entry, and from this first section, it does appear to be the entry into the United States of aliens as immigrants. So physical entry into the United States for people who are outside the United States and not impacting people who are in the United States. If we hear anything else about that, we'll update you.
Right, it does not appear to apply to folks who are physically present in the United States.
Right, so going on to section 2, the suspension limitation on entry pursuant to section 1 shall apply only to aliens here. Aliens who, 1, little I, are outside the United States on the effective date of this proclamation. So you're outside of the United States today, April 22nd. 2, you do not, what is that? Is that a 2 little I, or I don't know what that is. 2. Sorry, it's been a long time since I've been in law school. So 2, do not have an immigrant visa that is valid on the effective date of this proclamation. So you have not appeared at the U.S. Embassy or a consulate to get an immigrant visa, and so this is impacting you, all right? And 3, you do not have an official travel document other than a visa, such as a transportation letter, an appropriate boarding foil, or an advanced parole document. So a lot of our clients have advanced parole documents, and if you have one, then this does not apply to you, okay? So you would still be able to come in with your advanced parole document. And B, the suspension and limitation on entry pursuant to section 1 of this proclamation shall not apply to any lawful permanent resident of the United States. That's huge. So for those lawful permanent residents out there who are, saw this and said, hey, does this apply to me? I've got to go out of the country to visit a family member or what have you. This does not apply to you, thank goodness. And do you want to read the second?
Yeah, it also does not apply to any alien seeking to enter the United States on an immigrant visa as a physician, nurse, or other healthcare professional to perform medical research or other research intended to combat the spread of COVID-19 or to perform work essential to combating, recovering from, or otherwise alleviating the effects of the COVID-19 outbreak as determined by the Secretary of State. And any spouse and unmarried children under 21 years old of any such alien who are accompanying or following to join the alien.
So healthcare workers, generally speaking, not going to be impacted by this 60-day pause.
And their unmarried children under 21.
Another group of folks who are not going to be impacted by this are people who are entering into the United States on a visa, EB-5 immigrant investor program. So that's good news. the investments continue. If you have millions and millions of dollars and you were about to come in, you can still come in. This pause does not
Some things never
apply to you, right? Any alien who is the spouse of a United States citizen. So if you are the spouse of a United States citizen, you can still come into the United States, right?
Right. Any alien who's under 21 years old and is the child of a United States citizen, or who is a prospective adoptee seeking to enter the United States pursuant to the IR4 or IH4 visa classifications.
Okay, so these are children of United States citizens. Children can still come in under the age of 21, okay? And any alien whose entry would further important United States law enforcement, is that correct English?
Yeah.
Law enforcement objective. They did do this quite hastily. So if it's determined by the Secretary of State or the Secretary of Homeland Security that you should be coming in, then there's an exception for you.
Right.
Any member of the United States Armed Forces and any spouse and children of a member of the United States Armed Forces. Anyone coming in with a special immigrant visa and the SI or SQ classification. Honestly, I have no idea what that is.
Or any alien whose entry would be in the national interest, as determined by the Secretary of State or the Secretary of Homeland Security.
Right. So if you're an extraordinary alien, you've got the vaccination for coronavirus, then you're probably going to be able to come in for that.
Yep.
Okay, so then it goes on to enforcement, and it does talk about the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Homeland Security enforcing this. Talks about not trying to circumvent this through fraud, because you'll get in trouble and get deported.
Become a priority for removal.
And then so also here it says, nothing in this proclamation, which is important, nothing in this proclamation shall be construed to limit the ability of an individual to seek asylum, refugee status, withholding of removal, or protection under Convention Against Torture and other cruel, human, or degrading treatment or punishment consistent with the laws of the United States. So you're still, here in the United States, you're still able to apply for these remedies.
And I like this determination. This proclamation shall expire 60 days from its effective date and may be continued as necessary. But as a lawyer, I like the language that if nothing happens, then it will expire. This isn't, they're going to revisit it, but if there's no decisions made or any changes, then after 60 days, it automatically expires. That's good.
So effective date is 11:59 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on April 23rd, 2020. That is tomorrow, right?
I'm sorry?
Is that tomorrow?
What's that?
April 23rd, right?
Yes, tomorrow.
Effective date is tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is a lot better than what I was expecting, because, you know, the media frenzy, there's a lot of information out there that we're all being subject to and digesting. So,
right, last night and this morning when we were just hearing media reports and just sound bites, it sounded much harsher than it actually is when we get down into the details of the language.
So very, very clear that those who are in the United States and going through the process, the lawful permanent resident process and getting your green card, this does not impact you. So that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. For those who are outside of the United States and you've already gone to your interview, you were issued the immigrant visa, you still will be able to come in on that when it is safe for you to travel. So there are some exceptions here. If you are a lawful permanent resident and you have applied for a spouse or a child under 21 or a child over 21 who's unmarried, then your case is on pause for 60 days. Okay. Again, as we said in our Facebook Live previously, this is effectively already happening, and so we're just hoping that once the 60 days comes and goes, this is going to be done. So if anyone has any questions in the comments, again, this just came out minutes ago, mm-hmm. and we told you we would hop back on, so that's what we're doing. And I hope that if you do have questions, you'll reach out to us. You can shoot us an email or at info@gmlaw.net, or you can shoot us a message through Messenger, because I know that people are still going to be out there with a lot of questions, but we will post this up, the text of this whole executive order I'm thankful it's not as bad as we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
John was right. He's always right.
Definitely feeling better than we were this morning, but our instincts were that maybe it was more political than policy, and that seems to be the case. That's good. That's very good. And by that I mean the soundbite was very good for the administration to the audience they were trying to reach, but when you dig into the details of the order itself, it's not as bad as we thought. Not as bad as we thought.
Okay, and again, if you all have any questions, reach out to us, and we are going to be over and out this time.
Yes.
Hopefully we won't be jumping on, because I'm sure you guys are tired of seeing us, but I hope that the information is helpful, and we will see you guys next time. We'll probably talk a little bit more about it, go into detail if there are any nuances that we have forgotten as we've breezed through this very quickly, but we really wanted to assure a lot of the people out there that it is not going to impact you, especially if your case is here in the United States processing right now.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys. Good night. Have a wonderful evening.
Rest
We're
a little
gonna
more
try
easy
to
tonight.
We're gonna try to figure out what's for dinner. Are we doing takeout? Are we gonna support a local restaurant? Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
That's
okay,
no
guys.
cooking tonight.
See ya.
All right. Bye, guys.